as we age, your pores get bigger. If you have oily skin, your pores are bigger.
Right.
So it's natural and normal. There's nothing wrong with them. And in a lot of cases, there's really nothing you can do.
Right.
You know, there are some things that we can do, of course.
I do receive calls from our clients asking questions if they can reduce or shrink the size of their pores. They feel really kind of depressed and let down sometimes when they're looking at their skin. You know, sometimes they just know that their skin isn't feeling their best. And is there anything that we can help them with that they can use on a daily basis to improve, help smooth out their skin?
Yeah, you know, because as we age, your pores get bigger. If you have oily skin, your pores are bigger.
Right.
So it's natural and normal. There's nothing wrong with them. And in a lot of cases, there's really nothing you can do.
Right.
You know, there are some things that we can do, of course. If you are really oily or acne prone, things like that, using a good acid cleanser. So if you have oily skin, acne skin, your pores can be stretched. Sometimes they're filled with, you know, dead skin mixed with sebum.
Right.
Other times they just stretch because they're oily. So using something with a little bit of salicylic in it, like our AB cleanser or the 3% salicylic mini peel, something like that can help to empty out the pores and, you know, get some of that dead skin off. You've got less things to clog your pores. So that's also beneficial if you have acne. I think the number one thing, though, for pores is a retinoid.
Okay.
So what vitamin A does is it helps to shed the inner lining of your pores.
Okay.
And then over time, this is not immediate, it will allow the pores to tighten up as much as they possibly can. Now, we're not talking like airbrushed skin, but if you have large pores and you use retinoids for, and I mean a long time, I'm talking like 6+ months,
Okay.
then you will find that your pores get much more refined. There's, you know, it keeps them nice and smooth. There's nothing in there. There's no dead buildup. So this is the number one thing you want to do.
Okay.
Vitamin A. And I would say also, you know, while we're on the vitamin A trains, something like a vitamin A peel could also be a benefit for that. Something you can do this once a month. You know, it doesn't have to even be every single month, but you can get something like this in your regimen, or a retinoid like our Fusion A in your regimen. That's going to make a huge difference in your pore size.
So I had a particular customer who called me last week and they were having an issue with their pores. They did a peel. They were super excited about how their pores looked very minimized. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, they felt like their skin reverted right back to the way it was. So what could they do to keep that result right after their peel?
Well, now it depends on if it was a stronger peel, right? Was this inflammation that temporarily swelled the skin and made those pores look smaller? Like if they did a strong peel?
It was a TCA peel, and it was 2 layers of TCA 13. They were super happy with the results that they received post-peel, but the words they used was their skin reverted right back to it, you know, the way it was. So I recommended, you know, using a retinoid and being in a retinoid long-term, and obviously consistency with a TCA peel. Long-term, I recommended a 8-peel series. But is there anything else you could recommend?
I mean, that's the number one. I mean, this is the number one. They might have been like brand new to peels.
And they were.
Yeah. So they probably were just barely starting their regimen and they haven't even seen the benefits yet of using a retinoid long term. But, you know, that TCA peel obviously took that skin off. Everything looks nice and tight and firm and beautiful. Well, they just have to continue using this, continue doing your peels. I mean, peels help. TCA is great. Salicylic is also really good for the oily skin because it digs deep in the pores to help, just like vitamin A does. You know, they both dig in there and help to clear out the pores. Another instant thing, of course, and I've used this on many times, is using a scrub. So the Dermazyme, obviously this has enzymes in it too, but the scrubby beads, there's various sizes of scrubby beads in here. There's teeny tiny ones that you can barely feel, and there's really big ones that you can feel. So they tend to, like, especially if you have large pores, then when you're doing a little scrubbing on that, you can really get into those larger pores and get that all cleaned out.
Really clean
and then you can't instantly make them tighten, but if you continue using a regimen like that, they will tighten over the months. And I noticed that on myself, from 18 million years ago when I first started using this, when we first started bringing retinoids in, I didn't see like a huge difference in my pores. I remember I was one of those people, I go in the mirror and I'm like, poking, and it's not even, it's just dead skin and little filaments, I think they're called. I could do that. I haven't been able to do that in years. But I would say it took a good, that's where I get like my, 6 to 9 month thing. It was a good 9 months or so before I noticed that after using retinoids every single night that was gone. Like I couldn't do that. I couldn't get anything out of my pores if I tried. And I don't have dry skin. People with dry skin have tighter pores, but people with oilier skin, I have oilier skin.
Right.
I still can't do that. And that's because of long-term retinoid use.
Gotcha.
That is just so important. That's just your number one thing. That'll take care of it.
Excellent.
Well, don't give up though. Keep using it.
Right. Yeah. Consistency. That is
Consistency is key. We need a little key that says consistency is key to people.
That is so true. That is so
the key to your future beautiful skin.
I assume using the retinoids would also help control acne and things like that because it's, clearing everything out on a continual basis.
Everything. That's my favorite. It's my favorite product, I would have to say.
It's going to help with anti-aging.
It does everything.
It's going to help with acne. It's going to help with pore size.
Pigmentation. Everything. Like smooth, glowy skin.
Absolutely.
Does your skin color matter? Does your skin type matter? Not really.
No.
It's good for absolutely everybody. If you're using a retinoid and consistency is key, and this is brand new to you, you're going to want to put it on every single night. And that's a mistake. You have to start slowly.
Absolutely.
So that's our tip. Starting this is you have to start slowly. Start with maybe 2 nights a week, and then add on the 3rd night, as long as you don't have any dryness or irritation. 3rd night, then following week, use that for that week. The next week, if you're good, add on a 4th night. If that's too much, cut back to 3rd again.
Yes.
Ease into it. Otherwise, you're going to be dry and irritated, and nobody needs to go through that.
With the 0.15.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the biggest mistakes that I talk to, clients when they call for a return, because we do have a 30-day return policy, and they will, they just assume that they want to start with a 0.25 or 0.35, and they just think that they can tolerate it. But they
want.
Yeah, they want to tolerate it. And then they'll start using it daily. And then they start applying like an eye cream and it'll start burning. And then they think it's the eye cream. So they'll call me to say, return an eye cream. And then I'll say, well, what else are you using on your skin? Because I know Platinum Eyes doesn't ever really burn your eyes.
No.
And they'll say, oh, I'm using, the Fusion 0.35 and I've been using it for a week. And I'll say, oh,
what's the problem?
It's the culprit. So it's the retinoid that's causing you sensitivity. So then I'll explain to them how that works. And then most times they keep the eye cream and then they swap out the retinoid.
Yeah.
So
let's say you do get something that's a little bit too strong. Let's say and there's a quiz on the page too. So that's number one. Use the quiz because it's going to ask if you're brand new to retinoids or if you've been using stronger retinoids. Are you on a prescription retinoid? And it'll tell you what percentage to pick. But let's say you do, instead of taking the 15, it said you did the 25 and it's too strong.
Yes.
You can mix it with other products to dilute it. So you could do a pump of this and a pump of, Derma Snap or something. Mix it together. Now you've cut that in half. So now, you're back to like a 0.12 or something like that.
Right.
And you can start off applying that. And it's going to take many months before you reach that 0.25 or only use it a couple times a week and have that be it.
Yeah, so don't hesitate if you are having a reaction or you feel like something's not jiving with your skin, email us and we will help walk you through the best way to make the product work for you and help you decide, how to mix it and dilute it down and figure out the best course of action to move forward. That's for sure.
Of course. That's it. So, I can't think of any other tips that they need, but that's it. You want to tighten and shrink those pores and look smooth as porcelain skin as you can get. Vitamin A.
Absolutely.
Fusion A.
Perfect.
Yay.